What is going on, guys? And welcome to another edition of the Yards After the Catch podcast. It's Super Bowl week, everybody. We're super excited for the big game, but unfortunately, it's the last game of the season, and then we're going to be all sad once football's done. But we're going to talk Super Bowl. We're not going to go crazy deep dive into everything, but I'm not alone. Again, host Alex Young. I'm here with the crew. We got four people, so it's always fun to have the full four fledged here today. Starting up, we got Brian. Brian, how you doing?
How we doing, everyone? Just surviving the cold.
Yeah. If you're not on the Northeast, it has been freezing for people out there, and there's still a bunch of snow, and the snow might not go away until the summer at this rate. It's been crazy. We got our Patriots fan here who's super excited. Obviously, his team's in the big game. We got Rob. Rob, how you feeling? How you doing? Good to have you back on the podcast.
Thank you. Feel great. I mean, wish I could say I expected to be here, but happy to be here nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. I always, like I said, I'm a Giants fan. I was happy to be in the Super Bowl. Whenever you can be there, it's always happy. You don't know when you're going to get there, but when you get there, you can celebrate, which you are now as we're getting ahead of the big game. And finally, he has no stakes on teams. He doesn't care who wins, but he cares if his money increases. We got Nico here, our bet guru, Nico. Nico, welcome back to the podcast. How you doing? Excited for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'm excited. Bittersweet week for me, no football for 8, 9 months, but it's a sad week, but excited.
Nico, I just got to ask you, are you one of those bettors that just after the Super Bowl just finds a random sport to latch on and just throw money at?
Um, After March Madness, yeah, after March
Okay.
Madness, we got some issues possibly down the road there.
Yeah. Yeah. Bet
Korean table
responsibly,
tennis.
but I always
That's-
wonder with people who focus on football what the hell they do because I hear some crazy stories of what
yeah,
sports
shout out to
people.
the Mobus Phobus.
Yeah.
My boys will like that tune in.
Yeah.
Shout out Mobus Phobus.
Exactly. Yeah. I've seen people who've tuned into European like ping pong, like
Yeah,
it's crazy. Bet responsibly,
Australian
guys.
Australian ostrich racing is
Yeah,
a big hit
exactly. Yeah, it's
in
crazy
spring. I
what you
heard.
can do these days, especially in your hands. But all right, let's get back on track. We're going Super Bowl. We got the Seahawks facing the New England Patriots. Games kicking off at 6:30 on Sunday. Should be a fun one. We're hoping for a fun one, obviously. But we're just not going to go deep dive into stories. We're going to just kind of talk about what we're excited about. Brian, I'll kind of go to you first, kick us off. What are you looking forward to in this Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the Patriots?
I think I might have to order a run the damn ball hat. That's exactly what I want to see right now. This is Seattle's chance to rewrite the script of a few years ago. What is it? Honestly, was it 10? Is it 10 years now?
I believe so. Robert, is
Yeah.
it 10 years ago
Yeah,
Ten
the first
years.
sophomore interception?
2016. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
2016.
Holy shit, time flies.
Yeah.
10 years. This team for Seattle is built on defense and running the football with Sam Darnold stepping in when needed and airing it out. And that's exactly what I want to see in this game. I want to see them utilize Kenneth Walker. The thorn in the side of the entire season for me, at least with Seattle, has been Zach Charbonnet. I cannot stand him. Kenneth Walker now, since playoffs, with him being hurt and ascending to this dual back kind of role, is really playing well and stepping in, especially at a contract year. So I expect a big game out of him. And the defense, in my opinion, is better than the Legion of Boom. Overall, well rounded
Mhm.
across 11 players. I think Legion of Boom had better players maybe in their secondary, but overall, from what I'm seeing in their front seven, I see him as a overall better defense. Um, when I look at the Patriots, here we go again. We're back. Shout out to Vrabel for just killing it this year. Maybe the best free agent acquisition for any team. Going from worst to first is very hard to do. And, Drake May ascending into an MVP candidate with, a solid 1-2 punch in the run game. I think it's one of the more balanced Super Bowls we're going to see in a while where this really could be either team. And it's going to be one of those hard technical football games, hard defense, running the ball, old school. So it's going to be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this matchup. I'll give some pointers down the line before we go when we whip around everyone. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a run heavy game. Both defenses are fun, but I just want to say again, I had one of the best takes on our first podcast episode. Said team to watch, Seattle Seahawks. Everyone, they're in the Super Bowl, and I loved everything about them. I thought they were going to gel defensively and then offensively, and obviously they've done that. They made it all the way here, and I agree with you, Brian, on their run game. And then again, Sam Darnold was banged up in that NFC Championship game. Didn't have to do much. The run game kind of helped them, and the defense stepped up. So again, I feel like this is going to be a really fun matchup. Old school football. I don't know if a lot of people love that, but me, Brian, we're the two old school kind of guys. We like the old school Smash Mouth football. That's the
40
football I love.
carries. I'm on 40
Yeah,
carries for
I don't
100
want
yards.
this. I don't want a shootout. As much as everyone wants a shootout, I love some old Smash football. But Rob, Patriots fan, I'll get your perspective as the Patriots fan. You can talk about
Mhm.
if you want to hype up Seattle, you can. Feel free, but I know you don't want to do that. They're their opponent on Sunday. But what are you looking forward to in this matchup between the Seahawks and your team, the New England Patriots?
Well, I think really this game is going to come down to who can run the ball better. Now, honestly, as a Patriots fan, I don't hate this matchup because obviously the Patriots' run defense, when it's healthy and has Milton Williams and Robert Spillane out there, is one of, if not the best in football. I believe it was the first few weeks when everyone was healthy before Milton Williams got hurt, where the Patriots didn't allow a single player over 50 yards rushing. So when we're healthy, which we are now, it's the defense is just phenomenal. Now, the real question is going to be I'm not too concerned about Drake May's health. I know that's been a big story, or
Hmm.
I think he's going to be more than fine. I mean, they said
He
he hurt
said he
his
was okay at media day
yeah. I
today or
mean,
yesterday. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they said he hurt his shoulder, but the play before he threw the flea flicker in the AFC Championship. So I don't really put much stock into that injury. I don't want to say I'm confident, but I just feel like it's almost a no lose situation for the Patriots because everyone is picking the Seahawks right now. You go on ESPN, almost everyone is choosing the
Mhm.
Seahawks. Like I was kind of saying before we started, didn't really expect to be here. So being in the Super Bowl with a second year quarterback and a first year head coach, and not to mention the Seahawks, their best player, JSN, phenomenal receiver. We're going to have Christian Gonzalez on him the
Mhm.
entire game. So right there, that might be able to. I'm not saying he's going to stop him, but he should be able to contain him. And if Kenneth Walker isn't able to run the ball like he's been able to in the previous games, a lot of that weight is going to fall on Darnold. And I've been a supporter of Darnold all year. I thought he played well, thought the Vikings were crazy for getting rid of him, which obviously that seems to be the case. But
Yeah.
I'm not still 100% convinced he's that guy. So that's kind of what I'm hoping on to is that Darnold is going to more or less shit himself in the big moment. But yeah, maybe I'm just feeling overconfident, but I'm liking the Pats this week. Spoiler.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
We would all be shocked if you said go
yeah,
Seahawks at the
right.
end of that. Yeah, no. I think this is just bonus money for New England. I mean, obviously you want to win the big game. We're not saying like yeah you should lose. It's fine. Like obviously you want to win
Right,
the big
yeah.
game. But I agree with you there. Like it is, you have a second year quarterback. You have your first year head coach, well, first year with the team.
Right. First year with the
And
team.
it's plus money at this point for
Hmm.
New England, right? Like they got the playoff experience now. They're a younger team. They're developing. This is all crucial. Now you hit the mountaintop, great. Like now you have a potential dynasty. We could all talk about that in the offseason. Is this a start of something again? And God, me, Bryan, Nicho, we don't want to see this again. We thought the 3 years of bad was like perfect in heaven, but who knows? If that's the case, the
Yeah.
Patriots win again, then we're all talking about it. And again, that's what all New England fans want. But speaking with someone who doesn't have stakes in the game, Nicho, I know you're looking at this kind of from a betting perspective, but even just as a football fan perspective, like what are you looking at when you're watching when you're watching the Super Bowl between the Seahawks and Patriots on
Yeah,
Sunday?
definitely. What I'm most excited for is just the storylines, like you mentioned, like Drake May, second year quarterback, Patriots back in the mix, Seattle Patriots rematch can write the story. Sam Darnold, Jets does that year with Minnesota, gets let go by Minnesota, is on Seattle now. It's just great storyline all over. Once we get into my picks, the game itself, you'll be interested to see what I have to say. But for right now, I just really excited to see Drake May. I love Vrabel. I can't believe Tennessee fired him when they did. I think he
Yeah.
is one of the best coaches in football, if not the best currently. And it's going to be exciting to see two great defenses, two great coach teams go at it. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited for a good, well coached game. And I'm excited to see which both coaches have up their sleeve on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a coach battle again. Two young coaches, not young coaches, but you know, two coaches with their respective teams battling. It's going to be great. And yeah, with Vrabel, As a Giants fan last year, I was like, please fire Dable. I want Vrabel. Please, God, please. I'm
Yeah,
happy you
it's a
went with
mode.
Harbaugh now. We got the Harbaugh, but I was screaming at the mountaintops that Mike Vrabel needed to be the head coach of the Giants. New England gets him, and everyone sees why it was a mistake that Tennessee let him go a few years ago. I feel like
Absolutely.
there's a lot in the Super Bowl of mistakes, like or what ifs.
Yeah.
Again, primarily Sam Darnold. What would happen with Minnesota right now if Sam Darnold wasn't just let to walk? I think that's going to be a huge offseason question mark. Again, same with the Jets. What would have happened if they weren't a dysfunctional franchise and learned how to develop Sam Darnold into the player that he is?
Absolutely.
It is interesting to see in New York again, me being in their city in New Jersey, just seeing the Jets fans actually kind of rooting for Sam Darnold, but also being kind of sad because they're like, well, this could have been us if we weren't so
Hmm.
freaking dysfunctional. But yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I'm rooting again for Sam Darnold, and again, I'll go real quick what I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking at the battle of these defenses. I think that's going to be a key thing here. Can New England, especially on the front end, stop Kenneth Walker and slow him down? I think if they do that and you put more pressure on Sam Darnold, again, what Robert alluded to, is Sam Darnold going to shine or is he going to see ghosts and collapse again? No, no pun intended, but I know a lot of people have been using that joke recently with Sam Darnold. But that's me. That's what I'm really looking at here. And then on the Seattle side, I think the defense keep the momentum. I think what Bryan said is absolutely correct. I think this is one of the defenses that is underrated. We had the Legion of Boom Seattle team, but again, if this team can win the Super Bowl, I think a lot of people will look back and see how great this defensive was in terms of NFL history. I think again they've slid under the radar for some reason all year until the playoffs, and
Hmm.
then everyone now starts talking about Seattle's defense. But I'm like, they've been there all year. So I think it's a battle of defenses. I think that's what's going to be a lot of fun. And then again, which quarterback's going to make the key throws? We've seen these last few years. Again, especially in defensive matchups, and all it takes is one key throw. Is it going to be Sam Darnold? Or is it going to be Drake May to make that key play win the game? So it's going to be interesting. But my eyes are definitely this whole time is going to be on defense. Like me and Brian said, I agree. I
Yeah.
think this is going to be an old smash mouth defensive battle. I don't think it's a shootout like people are anticipating. Uh, but
I'll
with
say
that,
one thing on the
yeah,
defense
yeah,
quick. I just
exactly, yeah,
pulled up some stats.
yeah.
So just right now for Seattle's defense on the season, they average 1.5 takeaways a game, in just fumbles alone, and then 1.1 interceptions a game. So just that turnover rate itself. Um, Drake May, you got to be on notice here. Hold on to the football, right? And then the same thing with New England here. They average one takeaway a game and only zero point 0.6 interceptions a game, right? So obviously both teams could turn the ball over here. I wouldn't be shocked to see a defensive touchdown in this game.
Yeah, no,
I
I
agree.
agree.
I
I
agree.
think there's going to be some key play on the defense this game, whether it's an interception, a fumble. We'll see, but I agree. Yeah, both these teams are good at takeaways, like you said, Brian. Like the stats say, I don't think it's going to end in the Super Bowl. But again, both quarterbacks, have to play smart here. Don't gamble. Again, I know I'm going to joke here. Eli Manning gambled, it worked, but that doesn't work. A lot of times in the Super Bowl. So again, like you said, Brian, both quarterbacks play smart, especially against these defenses, because they will take advantage if they see any sort of mistake or if they can jump a pass or something, they'll do that. So with that, again, we're not going to go super, super long here. We're going to go right into our picks. We got most of the rest of the yards of the Kest crew. They gave us some player props and some picks. Mainly on the player prop side, I'm going to try to go through because we are sending memes and everything to each other. But we'll go with the four of us. We'll go picks the Super Bowl, and then I'll try to get the notes on everyone else in the meantime. I'm using DraftKings here. Again, we use DraftKings all season. DraftKings sponsor us. But with that, again, it's Super Bowl Sunday, 6:30. Seahawks, New England, technically. New England's the home team, but is in San Fran. The Seahawks are favored at -4.5. The over-under is 45.5. Seahawks are favored on the money line at -238. Nico, I know you said you had a couple things. You are a bet guy. I'll give
Yep.
you the floor first here. Who do you got in the Super Bowl, and what are you looking out for when you're making your bets on
Yep.
Sunday?
So this is my take. I've been excited for it all day. The winner of this Super Bowl is going to be the casinos in Las Vegas. We are in for the biggest under Super Bowl, according to me. since the Rams Patriots of 2021. I think this is going to be not a snoozer. I like the defensive battles. I don't think it's going to be a boring game by any means, but I think the score is going to be Seattle 16-10 is what I have as my exact score. I love the under. Under 45.5 made no sense to me. I personally had it at 38.5. And I also like Seattle, but I think Patriots are a streaky team. 4.5 is a weird line. So I'm not going to bet the game itself, but I am going to bet the under pretty heavily. With that being said, like everyone looks at me, they're like, "Oh, it's a Super Bowl. You must bet like a million props and all this stuff." I think Vegas kills it because I think every prop goes under. I just love unders everywhere. I think a lot of people are going to be taking Drake May passing touchdowns anytime touchdown scores, and I think we might see 2 touchdowns total in this game. And like Bryan mentioned, one of them possibly being even a defense. So I really do think Vegas makes a killing in that aspect. But obviously, that's the only thing I can't bet. The other bet that I will be taking, besides heads on the coin toss for sure, also recommended. But give me Stephon Diggs over 4.5 catches. I really think in a situation like this, Vrabel's, I think they're going to be down late, and I think he's going to go to guys that he can trust. So I see a lot of second half catches from Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs, but mainly Stephon Diggs. I really think Seattle's sitting back in zone. They're going to get a lot of balls thrown Diggs' way.
You heard it here. Again, Vegas is always going to win. They know their thing. So Nicho, I love it. I love everything you said. Yeah, we'll bounce around. We'll do so. Like I said, I'm trying to get everyone's notes on the playoffs. But again, I really want to. There has to be someone that accumulates what the final number is of like money coming into Vegas on Super Bowl Sunday. Like it has to be some. It has to be billions or so. I really
the IRS.
Yeah, IRS will report it. Yeah, we'll go. Bryan, I'll go to you next.
Sure.
You don't have stakes in this one either, but who do you got? Seahawks and Patriots when you're looking at it. Are you going spread, total, money line? Who do you got winning?
So for me, I have I will agree with Nicho with the under. I have Seattle winning 27-17. Which with having a defensive I'm expecting a lot of field goals this game, but also I'm expecting a defensive touchdown, either in a forced fumble by one like Leonard Williams or DeMarcus Lawrence, or some form of a pick six by one of their corners or safeties on Seattle here. I'm expecting, that defensive churn of a game. I'm expecting a lot of carries in this game here for Walker and Stevenson and Henderson. But for me, I'm looking at Walker having plus 50 rush yards in this game and plus 25 receiving yards with at least 2 catches. He's been hitting that lately a lot, and since Charbonnet's gotten hurt, and in his receiving streaks throughout the season, I'm seeing that a lot. I like Diggs. What Nicho said, I agree with him on that. Hunter Henry is his favorite target in the red zone outside the running backs for me, so that's always something that's up for grabs. But I still think it's going to be a juggernaut of a defensive game. So I really don't like calling out TDs right now for players, at least in this game. But yeah, right now I'm feeling run heavy. I'm riding Kenneth Walker.
Don't hate it. Yeah, I was also on the Kenneth Walker trade for the over. As well on one of mine. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to hit a lot of the run bets. So if you're listening to this now, if you like any of the rushing bets, do it now, because on Sunday it could always go higher or lower based on like people hearing everything. So bet early now. I know you probably should have bet it like earlier in the week, as Nico probably have said too. But yeah, if you're going to do that now and you like some of the rushing numbers or receiving numbers even or stuff like that, like hit it now before Sunday, because once the parties start flowing Super Bowl Sunday, you're going to see the numbers either increase or decrease based on people just hammering the number. Rob, I'll move over to you. I think we all know who you're going to pick on who you got. But is there also any other bets, kind of things you're looking at that stood out to you in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking the Pats to win. Probably pure bias. Don't like I talked about before, but I do think it's I do agree that it goes under. I don't know if it'll be like 20 or 30 points, though. I mean, Vegas is pretty good at making these lines for games, so I could see it scaring the over-under, like a 24-20 Pats win, something like that. But the prop that I really liked, and it's a little bit of one of those like novelty props that you can find on DraftKings, but over 2.5 total players to have a pass attempt. So we need one, and Pats have done this a few times this year where throw like a lateral back to a receiver. He throws it down the field. So could see something like that on both sides, honestly. I mean, McDaniels usually has a couple plays for these big games, and Seahawks, obviously, young coach, aggressive guy. So I could see something like that happening. Or, obviously, God forbid, if there's any injuries to quarterbacks on either side, you automatically win that as well. So kind of the cynical way to look at that. The more fun way is just imagining a receiver throw a pass, but that's plus 160 also.
Yeah, yeah, I don't hate that. Is there any other things else, Rob, that stood out to you in terms of that?
The other one I was looking at, and I don't know if I'm gonna end up taking it or not. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find it here. Well, kind of like what Bryan was saying, I like Hunter Henry anytime touchdown. Like he's always option one in the red zone for the Pats, at least this whole year. So, I mean, the problem with those anytime touchdowns are the odds on them are just so bad. You just know you're not getting the correct odds when you're betting that. So, but if it hits, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. If it hits at the end of the day, yeah, screw it. Doesn't matter at all. I'll go. I guess I'll go with my picks and I'll go with my props. I was flip flopping here. I have a lot of friends who are our Patriots fans, but I have to go with my team to watch that I had all year. I'm going to go Seattle. I think they'll cover, but I'm going to go with the under here as well. I think it's just going to be a lot of running, a lot of time of possession domination, if you will. So there's not going to be fireworks like casuals are. So I'm going to bet the under there. I think with all of you guys agree, I think it's going to be some 24, 20, something along those lines. I think Seattle's going to win. Player props that I liked. Again, I agree with you guys. Walker on the over. I have Ramondre Stevenson on the over, especially since the playoffs did take place. He's been kind of the dominant ball handler and rusher, so I think his number there was looking pretty solid. And then I had JSN anytime touchdown. I just think when you have a stud receiver like that, he's going to find the end zone at one point, even if it's a short little pass, it'll still hit. I'm going JSN anytime touchdown. But I love your guys' pick for Hunter Henry anytime touchdown. I feel like that guy just finds the end zone. Magnet, for sure. And then just some other picks that I have coming in. I just see CJ. He went with Seattle's going to win. He just didn't say cover or whatever. He just told Seattle to win. And then player props, he was looking at JSN 4+ receptions, that he's also with us on Walker for the over. So if you're joining us now, hit Walker on the over soon before that number is going up, because it seems that a lot of people, including us here at Yards After the Catch, really like Walker and the over. And then I asked Alex who he had, but we'll probably, maybe I could put something together for Super Bowl Sunday with some of our picks and our props. Then you get something from Alex and or Desmond. Again, I don't even know what Alex would side with. It would be kind of interesting. I said being a Raider fan, if you would go and be buddies with Rob over there and go with the Patriots, or if he would go Seattle.
I can tell you, Mark. I can tell you right now, Mark's not picking the Pats. So put him down
for Seattle. Mark, yeah, we have to get Mark's pick too. Let me get that. Yeah, we'll put something together. Let me get Mark too. Yeah, we know for sure Mark Bills, no shot. He is the Bills fan. No shot.
I also like some game specials in this game. So I know for me, I'm a FanDuel guy, and I like checking the game specials, even though there's some crazy ones in there. So one I do always every Super Bowl is I do $10 right for plus 12,500 right. Each team to score a rushing and a passing touchdown in each half. I always feel like you'd be shocked how close that hits almost every time.
Yeah.
For $10, you don't have a sandwich one day for lunch, or half a sandwich in this economy, and put that down, right? Another one I like right now is plus 5,500. JSN and Diggs each have 10 receiving yards in each quarter. I think that's very doable in this kind of game. We'll see what happens. And then another crazy one, plus 20,000, 2+ field goals made in each quarter. So if it's a defensive game and you're feeling like not going to be a lot of touchdowns, maybe if you want to roll the dice with something like that, you can go crazy. But $30 right there could win you almost 4,500. So
love it.
Never say never.
Yeah, you have some fun doing that. Like with the novelty props like that, it's always fun because you're just like, it gets you a little bit more interested in the game. Me and my buddies, when we have a Super party, we'll watch it. we always find bets like that, right? And we just
Mhm.
find it so much more fun to see if like those little exciting moments are going to take place. Because you never know. Like you said, like you could turn $40 into 4,500. I think there was one year. Oh, it was when the Eagles won. We had like Devontae Smith to score a touchdown as our last leg of this like weird parlay we put together. And he is the one we made the bomb catch, but he got like tackled at the 3. But it looked like he stretched into the end zone, so we all got excited for
Mm.
a second. But I always remember that, like where we're just sitting there, like it's gotta happen. He just has to
Yeah.
get it, and he just gets tackled at the 3. We're like,
Oh
no.
God. I had one this year. It was $10 to win 2 grand. It was for each team in the 1 o'clock window to make one field goal. And it went down to the last game. It was the Raiders and forget against who. And to win the game, the field goal gets blocked.
Blocked, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I'm
Was
like,
that was
what?
that was that Raiders
Broncos?
Denver?
That was
Yeah,
Denver.
Raiders,
Yeah,
yes,
Raiders Denver
yeah,
in
yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah,
In Vegas,
yeah,
I think.
in
Every
Vegas, yeah.
single 1 o'clock got at least one field. Each team got one field goal. And then it's literally down to 4 seconds left block field goal. And I say, to that point, it is rigged and I'm done.
Yeah. Vegas was like, thank you for your money. We knew this was happening. There's a fun novelty that I saw, and I don't know if it's because it's Pat's New England, but I just saw this novelty prop, and I'll just bring it up, and then we'll wrap our podcast for tonight. But there's in the general novelty tab, there is total interceptions thrown on a play starting in the red zone. I just noticed that. I don't know if that's like a casual bet, but I also am like in my head, I don't know if they just put that together because it's the Seahawks Patriots
I
rematch,
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're
Took
honoring
me a second there to understand
yeah
that, honestly.
you're honoring the Butler interception that
Uh,
because it's an interception thrown on a play that started in the red zone. So I see that a general novelty. I don't know if that's a casual thing every year, but it's a funny little bet to see, especially with the history of these teams.
what could have been?
What could have been. Hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Also, I was just real quick before Rob Gronkowski was saying on an interview today, I was listening to him on Sirius XM. He and again, this is like revisionist history from Rob Gronkowski. Say it as you will, but he said in his head he had a feeling that the defense was going to cause a fumble, not an interception. He thought he was going to do a defensive play on that interception, and he said that was the happiest moment he ever was on the football field. But think about it. He was thinking that Marshawn Lynch was going to fumble from like the 2 yard line. Like I don't know. It just to me it's kind of funny. Like all-time great rusher, one of the guys who never really fumbled the football. And Rob Gronkowski's head was like, defense is going to cause a fumble on the 2. See, they're going to force Marshawn Lynch. Last call. Nicho, Robert, anything else you want to talk about before we got to wrap? We were keeping this quick again. We know everyone's tuning into all the sumo media and all that stuff. We just kind of want to have some fun thoughts. But Robert, Nicho, anything from you guys that popped up before we wrap up?
Just to add to the game specials, I did have one, and it's just going to go at that under. On FanDuel, it's 260. I did see that 300 on Bet Rivers, I believe. Any quarter to end scoreless. I'm really just riding that under wave, but I do like that. Bet a decent amount. And I also might sprinkle Myers over 1.5 field goals. And now I'm just getting carried away here. Another bet I do like is under 8.5 first quarter. I just don't see a first quarter where both teams score. I don't. I really, really don't.
Yeah, I don't hate that, Nicho. Again, you have the nerves, right? Everyone's on the nerves of the Super Bowl. I could see it starting off a little slow, so it's not a bad thing. It takes a little while sometimes the Super Bowl. Again,
Yeah.
unless it's just a freaking
Remember that Seattle-Denver Super Bowl with that fumble right to start the game right over Peyton Manning's head?
Exactly, yeah. Unless it's something like that, yeah, where where we saw that Super Bowl, like, yeah, things are getting out of hand. Or, even if you look at like Philly, where things just got out of hand so fast with Kansas City, where I was like, yeah, this game's over. But sometimes, again, that's why I think these two matchups, I can kind of see that. The nerves, little nerves, young quarterback, quarterback in a big spot versus second-year quarterback. Robert, any kind of last second thing, last call before we wrap it up?
Only other prop I'd say I'm looking at is Drake May over 40 rushing yards, just because I feel like they are going to get some pressure on him. So just really could get that on one play, honestly. So that's really the only other one I'm looking at. And, I'll be the cocky Patriots fans for 1 second and just say, I really don't know where they're going to put that 7th banner. I go to a lot of Pats games, and we're really running out of room up there. So
Yeah.
that might be a positive if we lose.
Maybe they just put the banner at like center. They paint the banner in center field for until they figure out on the 50-yard line until they figure out
Yeah.
where to hang it up. They're just like,
We don't
we'll
need the
paint
logo.
it.
We have the banner.
There'll be AI in like 5 years anyway, so
Yeah.
it's just gonna be like
exactly.
holograms.
They'll
up there.
find some weird spot. They'll put it up. Whatever. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see if they'll raise that banner. Again, thanks everyone for listening. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Again, I tell everyone this: like, be safe out there, especially if you're going out. To a bar, drinking, use Uber, call a friend, call your family, whatever the case might be. Please be safe, please be responsible, especially if you're betting. Have fun with your friends and family. I know it's the last week of football. We're all going to be sad. We're all going to recap it next week and then talk about what we saw and all the exciting things. But yeah, thanks everyone for this quick edition of Yards Catch. We wanted to get it on, talk some Super Bowl real quick. Again, enjoy the Super Bowl. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We have an Instagram page. We're going to be dropping content, like I said. We have a YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe there, as well as Spotify. Those are our three main places that you can get any Yards After the Catch content. Stay right here. Stick tuned. Lock in. Again, enjoy the Super Bowl. It's going to be a fun time, and we'll be recapping it next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Bryan, Rob, and Nicho. Hope you guys have a great Super Bowl on your guys' end. And again, we'll be talking to the group chat. And we'll be talking next week, recapping the Super Bowl. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks.